All right, goddamn it. Let's get started with this. The stuff I talk about is not a fad. Excuse me. I don't talk about fads. I be talking about real shit that's year round. Now, being a man, which is what I talk about all the time, is no fad. Crystal Birch, good morning to you too, young lady. Uh, Here I am beginning this new program, and it's just doing well. I just would like to know how many years are you going to allow this dope information to be waiting on you? I'm saying, you talking about what you're going to do. You've been talking about that for some years. When are you gonna when are you gonna accept that I'm delivering serious dope? I'm delivering one of the only ways to fucking grow out of that rut you place yourself in. Think about the gurus you have witnessed come and go over these years. I mean, you need to really think about that. How come they go? Well, why don't they adapt their program to go with the flow? Omar, how do you get into Sidewalk University? You obviously is not watching because it's scrolling right across the bottom of the screen. But you get into Sidewalk University by going to sidewalku.thinkific.com. That's how you get in there. But like I say, think about the gurus that have come and go. Do you have any idea why they go? Why don't they adapt their programs to go with the flow that's happening? Because that's what I do. There's so many claiming to be about this real abadabba. Or they got real ways to catch. But if that was the case, they would last. They wouldn't come and go like they do. Have you really thought about how much bullshit is going around these days? I'm proud to say you can go back to the year 2005. That's the year I decided to actually go hard with my shit. And you'll see, I'm still here. That's like 20 some years, 21 years. Now, I got the same themed products. I ain't changing around trying to tell you how to be a man this year, and then next year I'm telling you how to be a better man. I ain't doing that bullshit. I fuck around and put out shit that lasts. Motherfucker that bought my shit in 2005 can listen to it now and get damn near the same thing from it. Why? Because I do update, but I don't change. I ain't changing what I'm saying to fit some motherfucking crowd. Now I'm still putting the finishing touches on my new site. And as usual, that motherfucker's the bomb. And if you would take the time to really get into it, you'll see it's a very thorough program. I also just completed 3 new categories of tools. They're all bomb, but what's special about them is they follow in that Rosebud tradition of being laced with true facts that you can use today. One of the categories is winning. It's packed with insights on working on yourself, showing you how not to keep the same old ways. Because think about it, if it's time for a change, don't you think you should do different things? You can't change if you're doing the same thing you've been doing. I'm just letting you know. Now, you don't want to keep the same old ways unless they dope. It's one thing that will guide you to having real abba dabba that can't be denied. And you know what that is? Getting game from a real OG. I'm just saying, there are certain steps to take when you're trying to win. I'm talking about in life, not a game. My mentality tools, another new category. It includes tried and tested ways to get real, all the way to retirement plans to use. The one thing you're going to need is integrity. The section of tools on building integrity will increase your value to any woman. Now, this tool teaches you the correct way to judge, and it shows you how to never slip. All my tools are testimonies to the fact I ain't no joke. It's just is. And my confidence course in SWU is real. People come into this life not knowing about abba dabba, not knowing what to expect. And they get their fucking hat brought to them. Shit, man, you can go. They get turned away sometimes. There are things you should know about abba dabba game if you want to thrive in it. It delves into the things about this abba dabba most of you won't realize until you're dealing with an OG like me. And if you're dealing with a motherfucker like me, then you're going to have a whole bunch of thoughts about me versus the shit I'm talking. Carla, what's up?
What's going on, bud?
Nothing, man. What's happening with you?
I just thought of an interesting question. I just wanted to lay it on you.
Let's go.
I'm under the belief that in most situations involving people, one person is being pimped and the other, being the hoe. And I heard that back in the past, you related being a pimp as far as manhood, and then, a hoe as far as womanhood. I'm just curious. My question is, in what situation would a man be in a feminine position?
In what situation will a man be in a feminine position?
Yeah, because
ain't no situation. None.
But
now you want to debate that or something? You think you should think you should be abroad in some situations?
Just based on the logic, because in most situations, a person is going to be either the hoe or the pimp in that position. But
no, it's not in most situations, man. Only in one situation will it be a hoe and a pimp. The other shit is the bullshit you motherfuckers tell yourselves so that you can think you understand the game. It ain't but one position. Period.
What is an employee to a boss?
What is an employee to a boss? An employee. Because that boss pays that employee. Pimps don't pay hoes. Now you shutting up. Come on with your bullshit so I can kill it. I'm gonna kill
right.
I'm gonna kill anything you say with the facts of life that I lived and I know. All you motherfuckers
Right.
be trying to be sharp. You be faking like you sharp because you want to say some shit, man. You take what I say out of context. I ain't never said in any situation. It's like a pimp in a hole. If anything, I said you motherfuckers that say that shit is what. Go ahead.
I didn't. Just if we're gonna be literal, I didn't say at all situations, but I said most. And like you said, you said you hit the nail on the head. You said I took something you said out of context, so I take credit for that. I did do that, but I definitely heard you say that, so that's why I called with the question. And I'm glad you clarified. So I appreciate that.
Well, goddamn, man, you made me kind of like. I was gonna say I didn't like talking to you, but it's not that I like talking to you or I'm liking talking to you because you're going for what I'm saying. That ain't why. It's because you're realizing what I'm saying is true, and you accepting the mistake. Motherfuckers don't live up to their mistakes. They gonna say everything, but I made a mistake. Period. So
I'm just here to learn. So I mean,
bro, that's what you're doing.
Professor,
That's what you're doing, and I appreciate you for the call, for the time you took to let me see where you was coming from, and I really appreciate you understood where I was coming from.
All
right. So be cool, brother.
Yep.
Okay, now that was a good call to me, but you just got to understand this shit I'm talking, because the things that I talk about are the things that will qualify you as a certain level of person. All of you want to be, I would imagine all of you want to be more than you are, but you can't be more than you are just by saying it. You got to be more. And I'm telling you ways to be more. All three of those categories that I was telling you about, winning, building integrity, in a mentality, your mentality, yeah. All of that shit is legit, and I'm proud of the shit. I also guarantee that any one of those tools will open your mind to the subject matter. Now, I have been so fucking busy with sidewalkview.thinkific.com that it's hard to find the time to concentrate on creating new tools. But I stay down. So, my point, anybody looked at that site even a month ago, you look at that motherfucker now, you're going to see all kinds of new shit. Why? Because I'm busy. You're witnessing it. Some of you are living it. All it takes is the path being cleared to help you see your way. And that's what I do. I help you see your way. I don't help you see my motherfucking way. I help you see your way. Caller, what's up? Hey, caller. Caller, are you there?
Greetings, Rosebud.
Turn your radio, turn whatever you listening to me on down.
Okay. Let me turn. Okay.
Yeah, now we good. What's going on?
All right. Greetings. Good morning. This is Crystal Birch. I was calling in, if I may, just to have a minute of your time to see if I can relate to the previous caller.
Come on.
Okay, so a brief scenario. Okay, I think I get what he was saying, but from a woman's perspective, I'll give this. Say, for instance, okay, I'm a worker, I'm a teacher, I'm making moves, doing my job, but then, say, for instance, my boss wants me to conform to a belief that I don't particularly go for, but I just have to go with the flow just to keep my job.
What about
in that situation?
Yeah.
If I decide to make a move and find employment elsewhere, but then my boss can sabotage my progress by giving a false narrative of, oh, well, you know, she's really not a good teacher. She's not a good worker because she left and found employment elsewhere, but they're creating a false narrative to sabotage my progress. So how can a person maintain their integrity by finding greener grasses when there's a person throwing salt in my game?
Check this out. Could that motherfucker throw salt on you or in your game if he didn't know what the fuck he was doing?
If I didn't know what I was doing?
If he didn't know what you was doing.
Could he throw salt in my game if he didn't know what he was doing?
No, if he didn't know what you were doing.
Oh, well, no.
So what I'm saying is, why would you tell that motherfucker?
Well, because as a teacher, I have to, you know, let
You have to give
students
notice of
know.
leaving. You have to give notice of leaving. You have to let this
Right.
this new employer know that you had a particular job, and if that employer called because he's looking up on you, that guy he could if he tells some bullshit. But what I'm saying is, do you think the bullshit this motherfucker telling without proof is gonna deny you because you sound like a quality person?
Right.
Which would mean
Right.
you're a quality teacher. And I'm sure you're not going to go to an interview without little tidbit. See, this is a program I wanted to introduce to the school and to my class, and he didn't want me to, and you know, of course I had words, but he just don't want me to progress. However you explain it, what I'm saying is it all can be explained away, I think.
Okay.
But me personally, somebody telling me something and he my boss, I'm gonna make that motherfucker think I'm doing what he's saying, but I'm still gonna do what the fuck I want to do. I did that in my last job. That was like 20 years ago, but I used to travel around the country to go to McDonald's and check their syrup system for Coke. That's a big fucking system in the back of the store that you don't know is there really. So I'm back there working on the shit. Now, you working on the shit, you can't stop their work as far as serving their food. So when you get to fucking with some shit that's on that multiplex or whatever that's back there, and that's like 210, you could short that shit out. And if you short it out, you didn't put the store down. There's particular ways you got to go the way you go about doing this shit. That's what qualifies you as a QMC. But many, many times I took shortcuts because I know what's the result going to be. That motherfucker don't know what the result going to be because he's looking at the book. I'm from not the streets, but I'm from thinking outside the box. Now you got a 30 amp fuse that's blown and it got their multiplex fucked up. The only thing the boss gonna tell you to do is go buy another fuse if you don't have one. Now, if you go buy a fuse, however long that take, McDonald's gonna be down. Now you know they ain't gonna want that. So what I do, I get me some chewing gum paper, wrap it around that goddamn fuse, and put it back in, and it's working. Why? Because that whatever aluminum foil or whatever it is on that paper makes it a full circuit. Now, I'm thinking that the next motherfucker come after me gonna see this shit and fix it. A year and a half later, I come to this store again, and I checked that fuse, and it was still there.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, you tell the motherfucker that, they gonna appreciate you being MacGyver. I don't know if you know who MacGyver is. That was a dude that can fix.
Oh yeah.
Well, he could fix any. They used to call me Bluggyver. I was the black MacGyver. They used to call me because I'll come fix their shit, and they don't give a fuck. I took shortcuts. So I'm saying, when that subject came up, I told them what I'm telling you. Well, do you want McDonald's down while I go get the fuse? Those 30 amp fuses, you don't use them very often. So if you got one and you use it, you damn near ain't gonna replace it because you don't use them. But
Right.
I'm telling you, if you as the teacher can stand and defend your position as far as what's going on with you and a previous boss, they're gonna want you. I think. You don't back down. You believe what you believe, and you can explain what you believe. There ain't many people could do that.
Right, right. And the situation is, I didn't back down when I told him that I was going to leave. And then he said, oh, I'm just going to fuck your shit up when you move on. I said, well, go ahead and do it. And then I didn't hear anything for like 6 months. But just last week, I got a letter from the Commission of Teaching Credentials saying that I'm not fit to hold a credential because because of my previous experience with my boss. The thing is, I'm a fit teacher, but they said because I resigned and I did all the proper steps because I left, and then they're gonna say that I resigned a week late after the deadline. But then when I was applying for the job, nobody told me anything about the deadline. And by the time I signed the contract, that's when they brought the bullshit.
So you got your teaching credentials took?
They're trying to do that right now. And what I plan to do is just write a letter to the commission and say, well, first of all, wasn't notified on time in regards to the deadline until after I applied. And, you know, I don't want to take too much of your time, but they also gave me a Teacher of the Year award before I resigned.
But do you hear all the things you saying that's killing what they saying?
Yeah, right.
So what I'm saying is, you know, okay, they make a threat, they cause you a problem. Okay. Yeah. You deal with the problem. I wouldn't mail them a letter if it's near me or not near, but if I could drive, I'd take them a letter. And I'd want to see whoever and give them the letter. And as I'm giving it to them, I'll be telling them what's going on with this. You know, that's what's wrong with you guys. You guys take people's word over, let's say, a boss over a worker, and without even giving the worker a chance to even tell you what's going on, because them bosses be lying and you know it. And you tell them something like that, and they'll have to talk to you, especially if you got those a good teacher award. You know, you got a background of always being at work. Your students like you. Come on, the boss got to say something that whoever he's saying it to can back up. He got to be able to check on it. Otherwise, if you this fucked up, shit been going on at the school that got your name in it that's fucked up. And if he can't find that shit, then I'm saying he ain't doing his job.
Right.
So I'm not telling you to be argumentative. I'm just telling you to have your facts together when you go protest. All of them, and you gonna win because I won. They actually took my teaching. They didn't give me my teaching credentials because I had a felony in, I think it was like 86 or something like that. And this was 2006. That's 30 years. Right. That's 30 years. And what I'm saying, they told me that I'll never be able to teach because the felony I had was fucking with hoes. And they say I'd never be able to teach. And that was not bullshit as far as they was concerned, but it was bullshit as far as I was concerned, because fuck your system. I ain't got to teach in your system. I could teach in another system, and I did. But I didn't like that either. But what I'm saying is they didn't stop me from being a teacher.
There you go.
Yeah, and that's what they're trying to do to you.
Yeah, it's just when the initial word, when the threat is there, normally I think for most people we get defensive, and then there's just a little inkling of fear, like, oh, they're gonna mess up my whole game. But just as you said, just ride with the truth and just stand firm, and everything will work out. It's
gonna work out. Okay. It's gonna work out, no doubt about it, because you want to be a teacher, right?
I do.
Let me tell you something. When I left that other job, which was It wasn't teaching second and third grade, which is what I wanted. It was eighth graders, and they was half knuckleheads. So I didn't like that. So what I'm saying
I'm
is,
teaching eighth grade right now. They something else. They are.
they was knuckleheads, and what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
I started Sidewalk University. I mean, my thrill of being a teacher is being kicking it with people like you.
Right.
So what I'm saying,
I'm gonna get on.
That's what I'm saying. You know, fuck them. If they don't want you to do whatever, that don't mean you can't do what you want to do.
All right.
Keep it real. And this is what you say, Crystal?
Yes.
Crystal, I really liked talking to you. I hope you call back and, talk about some of the other stuff I talk about.
I appreciate it, and I will sign up to be a student at Sidewalk University, because the real deal is the professional world is like a roof. You just gotta, play the game or whatnot. But the real integrity of being just a person and a good employee, being true to yourself. And I believe, and I know that I'll get a lot of help and tips from you once I sign up and be a student. So I appreciate you taking this call. I really enjoyed talking with you, and just thank you just for reminding me that the bullshit is just bullshit. I'm gonna just stand on truth.
Hey,
and keep it moving.
You entirely welcome. Make sure you tell your girlfriends to listen in.
I will. They need to.
All right, take it easy.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
All right, be cool. See there, I know women be listening to me, and I ain't saying I'm not saying I'm the greatest guy in the goddamn world, but I could offer insight on a lot of things because I'm not narrow. I'm vast. See, you guys need to wake up and realize help is here, and it ain't going no goddamn where. You gotta, if you can believe it or not, you can now get this game, in how you want it as far as that go, because you don't have to come to Sidewalk University. You can go to Thinkific, and Thinkific allows you to do shit at your own pace. That's one thing. If I do have to say I had a complaint about, it was about that I didn't give people a lot of time to do the work, because I don't believe in taking time to do shit. If you notice, you ask me something, I'm answering it right now. I ain't thinking about it. I ain't finna trip. I'm going to tell you what's on my mind. Why? Because I believe your first thought is the best thought. I don't take no time trying to figure shit out, because the shit to be figured out, I do try to figure shit out. And when I can't, I just figure another way to do what the fuck I want to do. What I don't do is let shit stop me. Nothing is going to stop me, and nothing should stop you. The only way it will stop you if you ain't serious about what you're trying to have. If you're serious about it, nothing going to stop you. Period. All the assignments, you can do them in the privacy of your own house, your own study, your own living room. They are all, I say do them quickly, but you do them at your own pace, and you could take your time. Now, I had not thought of some of the things that some of my students told me or brought to my attention when I was creating this, and I left out a lot of the stuff that they were saying. I needed to actually include. Well, they wasn't saying it. I was realizing through talking to them, I need to include it. And I did. This is what I'm talking about. You gotta roll with the punches, and you can't be stuck in a box. You gotta be able to maneuver. If Sidewalk University is not working because of some of the way I run it, I'm not gonna change it for the students, because they ain't gonna get the message I'm trying to deliver. But I will adjust it. Otherwise, I'll make it like I did. Now you can do it at home at your own place, blah, blah, blah. But there was a lot of things I had to change. I ain't scared of work. I will work. I'm not scared of hard work. I'll do hard work. It's just I'm not a motherfucker to do something for nothing. Now, a lot of you guys made me realize that if I'm gonna fish, I may as well fish for the big one. Now, let me ask you something. Where is it better to fish? In the ocean or a lake? Now, I'm sure you have an idea. I wish somebody would call me and give me their answer, but I can't wait on that. What I'm saying, it really depends on what you're fishing for. So what I'm saying, if you want action at a giant fish, my bet would be the ocean. But if you're simply looking for some relaxing time on some water, my bet is on the lake. Now, I'm not saying which is better. My point is the women of today are either ocean women or lake women. Where could a fake bitch, because most broads today, now that Crystal Birch, I don't believe she fit in this category. So what I'm saying is I ain't talking about her, but she is a woman. So I'm going to say what I was finna say. If you want that giant fish, you can't be at the lake next to the golf course thinking you're going to get a motherfucking giant fish. That's wasting your time. See, where could a fake woman fishing for attention get more attention than she has seen in her entire life in one place? Do anybody know? Of course, I would have to wait till my beard turned back black, but I ain't gonna do that. The answer is in the ocean of suckers running around faking the funk. That's what they do. They I don't know, put a picture up or whatever, and then the next thing you know, all these suckers. Oh, girl, this, girl, that, woo woo. Now, if the bitch can't fish on the ocean, then she gonna go to the lake around her neighborhood and fish for local suckers. Who got worms? You know, every once in a while, I see value in being able to get the word spread out about what I offer and give you as far as when you get my stuff. Sometimes I give you deals on information I have. But see, the tools I just finished are custom made for you. I took some things that I learned at SWU and clarified quite a bit in my tools, making it easier for you to absorb. Now, some of you, I haven't ever, may not ever meet you. But you know what? What I've learned teaching so far has made a difference in how I want you to understand my message. I want to let you know that I really appreciate the love that you show me, despite, my shit talking self. I know I make it hard sometimes. I make it hard. But a brother emailed me last week, and I had forgotten I had talked to him. And then he emailed me again, and he told me that I roasted his ass. And I let him know he was wrong. And I said, oh shit, this nigga finna start crying. I mean, not literally crying, but complaining, crying. And that brother said, Rosebud, thanks. Thanks for roasting my ass in public like you did when we spoke. He said, I needed it, and it really put me straight. I'm on my job now, and I'll never go back to what I was doing again. Now, this was a very long email, him telling me about different things. But I know I make it difficult to really love a love dropping, shit talking ain't gonna be wrong motherfucker like me. But believe this, I'm giving it to you straight. In all my twos and all these videos, in every sentence I say out of my mouth to you, in person to you, or just in general to you, I'm giving it to you real. And these new ones, these new tools are no different. Except in one way. They're specific. And they work on specific areas of this motherfucking abadabba. I still have dreams about me on the blade at some hoes. At the same time, I know I'll never again be down and dirty as I once was. But that don't stop those thoughts about that life from creeping from the crevices of my mind and showing up in my dreams. Last night I dreamed I was out with Frost P on the blade. We rode up to a light and this young Filipino looking woman, looking fine as a motherfucker, asked if we were PIs. Are you guys PIs? She was on my side, so of course I started talking. I said, why, of course, madam. Are you a hooker or a looker? And she smiled and she said, I don't know, but I could see she was thinking. And before she could answer, I quickly assessed that she was mine for the taking. So I told Frost P to stop and let me out the car to get at my new hoe. And we cracked up. And I'll be damned if I didn't wake up. That shit was so real, I had to check my pockets and then realize I was in the bed. That shit was real. See, our lives are filled with instant decisions to make. Some of these decisions will make you be everything to a woman. Do you know what we are? We're psychoanalysts. We're sociologists. We're educators. I mean, in having this abadabba we have only works if you realize how to use it correctly. See, a lot of you guys ask me what I say or how do I catch. Believe what you want to believe, but tell me the truth. Which real motherfucker is offering advice to people for free? The cost to get this valuable abadabba is minuscule. My RAS tools, those are ride-along series. They are so fucking dope. They're two parts. The first part is mood-setting music. And as the music is playing, I'm spitting shit. I'm talking to a broad like I'm entertaining her. And the words I'm saying are for you when you buy the tool. But let me tell you how you use it. You listen to this first part, just like it's a hot song you like. And before you know it, you kind of know the words. And when you know the words, you play the second part. Now, the second part is the same music, but it's only the music. Now, the genius of this is when you buy it, you're instructed to listen to the first part until you know it. And then when you're ready, you bring your woman over or whatever, have it in the car or whatever, and you play the music. And as the music is playing, you're going to remember what I was saying because you memorize the song. And you're going to end up saying in your own way the words that I was saying, which is going to get you that broad. Now, let me tell you something. I've sold a lot of RAS tools. Most motherfuckers didn't really understand how to use it, but the 2 or 3 dudes that I can remember calling and talking about how dope they were explained the dope was not necessarily what I was saying. The idea was dope because he learned every word. And as he spit that shit, it started coming so smooth. He said the third time you use it, He haven't missed since then. So, what am I saying? I'm saying that I adjust. I make shit work for you because I don't need it no more. I don't need the shit. My channel is Real Talk with Rosebud. Subscribe, goddammit. Subscribe. I'm going to be introducing all my new products, and if you're interested in any of them, you can order from the site. None of my sites was like that before. I got that shit down. My shit works no matter what level you on. So you follow the information in the course and you'll see. Now, all the men who bought it have grown into giants, and to show their appreciation, they push it for me. That's why I stay rolling. These motherfuckers sell my shit for me. They love and respect me because I'm real and my shit showed them the way to the top. What else could you want from a motherfucking giant? So far, a gang of brothers have, taken advantage of the new site. But I feel there's room for many, many more. I know you think you might, get gamed up by listening or buying knockoff shit from me. Caller, what's up?
Eat for real.
Caller, what's up?
If you're following anybody who's not protecting their seed, then they want to talk about why single mothers are so bad. You can't have enough protected sex and then sit around.
I ain't got time for that bullshit. What I'm really trying to do is get you to see, fucking with me, you can't miss. The questions that you can't ask those goddamn pirates, you could ask me, because I wrote the shit that they pirated. Every morning that you blessed to wake up, you're being rewarded for your deeds of yesterday. And when you didn't wake up, when you wake up and you're feeling unsettled, it may be because you didn't do all you could have done yesterday. More than likely, you put it off. You put the shit off until tomorrow. You put off till tomorrow what you could do today. When you realize you didn't do all you could yesterday, you want to get it all done today, which is where you make your first mistake. What you should always do is shake yesterday off and make today important enough to not repeat what you didn't do yesterday. So as you head to the bathroom to wash up, you look in the mirror and you can see yesterday all over your goddamn face. And if you have made the right decision, there's no doubt that once you wash your face, brush your teeth, you're going to chance another glance in the mirror. The difference this time is when you look, there's a refreshed face in the mirror looking back at you. And it's at that moment you realize, if nothing else, yesterday was practice for today. And today is the first day of the rest of my motherfucking life. You can get it done today. But if you allow that wait till tomorrow attitude to prevail, you may have a long wait. Because tomorrow ain't planned. It ain't promised to you. And life is not promised to you. That's why life is lived by the day, the moment, the second, but not by the tomorrows. But you can't live today if you're not thinking about tomorrow in a way that will make you, make you do your best. Is tomorrow waiting on you? In retrospect, I have always been a person who wanted to do something on a scale others shy away from. And if any of these endeavors are the vehicle to take me to my future destination, then so be it. Even I know you can't always choose what will work. I'm prepared for whichever project takes off. That's why I do so many things. I have so many ideas, nothing will stop me. Not even when I realize I'm speaking to deaf ears. Nothing will stop me. Now, let's switch gears. If a woman asks me, what are you doing? Actually, what would you say if a woman asks you what are you doing? Would you quickly, as I do, think of something to say? Because she comes up to me and say, what are you doing? I'm gonna see that she ain't no stranger to approaching men. Seeing that, I'm gonna think she's trying to see if she can play me in some way. Now I'm always analyzing things that go on in my life. In this case, instead of getting scared, as a lot of y'all do when you're faced with a forward woman, I go on the attack. So I'll respond. She say, what are you doing? And I'll quickly say, sitting here trying to look as cool as possible so that I can exude this aphrodisiac type cool. Your hormones might respond to them. Then I'll pause a second before I ask, are they? See, you got to understand the play don't stop there. You only open the door. It doesn't matter what you say to open the door, but you have to have an opening the door statement. It's time to step inside her mind. And when I ask, are they? See, I'm going to raise my eyebrows, but I'm not going to smile. This is being cold, putting her on guard, which you'll notice right away in her response. She might say, not really, playing coy. But I'm not going to let her take control of the conversation that easy. Saying not really was to get me to ask her a question so she could take control. So I'll flip it on her and make a statement. Then I'll ask her something to get her to respond to my statement. So my statement is something like, that's because you too far away from me. I know we dealing with this virus and shit, but would you mind if I sat next to you? Or you look brave. If you are, you could bring your fine ass a little closer to me and get a whiff of my neck and see if I affect your hormones. Since she's playing her hand, she's not going to be easy. She may be one of the women who knows how to handle men. In that case, I'll put it on her and make her get a little defensive. Girl, I might not even be for you, or vice versa. Then again, you might have a cold and your nose is stopped up, running interference, getting in your way. Now, I say this to change up on her and bring her to a comfort zone. Laughter. I've told you all, if you can spot a tense situation developing and kill it with a little humor, you're in with her. And when I say she may have a cold, she's going to smile. Do any of you niggas know what the purpose of coming at a broad like this is? Do you? Hit me and let me know. This ain't no judgment type shit. I would be surprised as hell if one of you knew the purpose of this kind of conversation. That's giant game I'm spitting. Like I told you before, I don't want to waste my time. 5, 10, 15 minutes tops, and I know. What I'm doing here is taking control of what she thinks and most likely what she'll say. The purpose of these types of statements is to see if you can control her moods or emotions. If you can't, what the fuck would you want to spend any more time fucking with this loser ass motherfucking woman? See, you guys don't know. Before I was a motherfucker, I was acting like a motherfucker. Before I was a pimp, I was acting like a pimp. Shit, I'm a born actor. So when it comes time to get out on a broad, I can play any part my mind tells me is needed. You better get hip. I'm getting turned on to a lot of new avenues for my fresh pursuits. I'm at the doorsteps to my goal of getting a full class of straight A students, if you can believe that. I've learned that 90% of being successful comes from believing in yourself. The other 10% is knowing what you do best and focusing on it. I know how to comfort a woman, which made me special, or that special one in my field. I've realized a confident man experiences fear. He just won't allow fear to handle him. That has opened doors for me. Now I'm telling you, believing the real shit opens doors. Forget if you aren't winning now. You haven't found the keys to your life yet. When you do find them motherfuckers, when you do find the keys that's going to take you to success, life would be like sliding your feet into a new pair of gaiters. Straight enjoyable. I try to do something that's going to excite me every day. I want to experience exciting, new, and unseen treasures, the ups, the downs, the rights, the lefts, and all the potholes in life. That's because when you find that key, life gonna be like riding on a hovercraft, never touching the ground. Since you're a winner, you'll experience a lot more ups than downs on this bumpy but smooth sailing ride to the top. Now, you got to understand, brother, I kick this shit and I'm very serious about it. And I don't necessarily expect everyone to get what I'm saying. But when you do, just like Crystal Birch, holler at me. Make sure you tell me exactly what's going on so I can tell you exactly what I think you should do. What I say does not automatically translate into being correct. What I say should be food for thought so you can come up with what's correct for you. Because your life is about you. Your life is not about me. Your life is about what you do. Crystal Birch's life is about what she does. Crystal Birch, I don't know, I'm getting attached to you just by looking at your damn name. I don't know if I want you to call back in. I'm probably going to be trying to ask you your phone number, Miss Crystal. What's fucked up is you might give it to me. Then I'm going to really be fucked up trying to hit on you. Because I will hit on you because I think you fine just because you want to be an 8th grade teacher like I did. You be cool, woman, Crystal Birch. Oh, you laughing. I want you to laugh because laughter is the gateway to coming together. I want to fuck with you some kind of way, Crystal Birch. I would give you my number, but, you know, too many people have it, and then they'll be calling me. But Crystal Birch, give me your number, and let's talk about something sweet, something neat and sweet. I'm out.